Hey everybody, welcome to Home Life 365. Have you suffered from sticker shock lately when you went to buy a loaf of bread? I know I have. I was at the store the other day and a loaf of bread was over $4. And to me, that's just outrageous. I've done a lot of bread recipes and I'm going to do another one today. I hope everyone's taking time to learn how to bake bread and save some money. So I will bring you down to the stove and we'll get started. Okay, to get things started, I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees and I have my cast iron pan here and I've flipped it upside down because I'm going to cut a piece of parchment to line the bottom. To do that, what I have done is cut a piece of parchment paper that you can see slightly larger than my skillet. So I folded it in half and then in quarters, and then I want to take this and make a triangle. Like so. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to just continue to fold this over to make, kind of like making a funnel or a cone, so you can see the shape of the parchment. I have to hold it together or it's going to come undone. I want to put the point close to the center of the pan, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and trim. I just trim the edge at the edge, and this will be now a circle to line the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to oil the bottom of the pan with a little bit of vegetable oil. I'm just using a pastry or a basting brush. I just want to brush a light, very light coat on the bottom and along the sides. And then I will put my parchment down. And I'm going to do a light brushing on top also. This is just to keep the bread from sticking. Okay, and I will set that to the side until we're ready to put the bread in. Okay, the first thing I want to do before I start preparing my dough is mix up vinegar and milk. Irish soda bread normally calls for buttermilk, but I never seem to have buttermilk, so I'm going to use a milk and vinegar mixture to make buttermilk. And what I have here is 1.5 cups of whole milk. You do want to try to use whole milk because it has more fat, and the fat is needed in this bread. And to that I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of vinegar. And I just want to give that a little stir. It will react. And I'm just going to let that set and let the reaction get started while I prepare the dry ingredients. So in a large bowl, I want to sift 4 cups of all-purpose flour. You don't have to have bread flour for this one. There's no yeast. So this is a pretty simple bread. And to my flour, I want to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. This one doesn't use baking powder, only soda. This is called soda bread because it uses soda as the leavening agent. I'm just going to use the back of my spoon and push that through. I am also going to add to that 1 tablespoon of white sugar. That is optional. You don't have to add it. It just adds a little bit more flavor. And I'm just going to give a light whisk to those dry ingredients to make sure everything is mixed up. That should be good. Okay, now my milk and vinegar has been setting, and I'm gonna try to show you. See how it's starting to clabber? That's what you want to happen. Mine could have used a couple of more minutes, but as it is, it's fine. So I'm gonna add the milk and vinegar. And the last thing I want to add is 2 tablespoons of melted butter that I melted in the microwave. And I'm adding the butter just to add a little extra fat, since I did not have buttermilk and had to do the milk and vinegar substitute. The butter will help add a little extra fat to the dough. So I'm just going to give this a stir. Now mine is a little dry, and if yours is dry like this, you can see it's not coming together in a dough ball. You can add extra milk, and I'm just going to do that a tablespoon at a time. Oop, that was a very full tablespoon. I'm going to add one more. All right, that's starting to be better, and you can see it's starting to stick together like a dough. So now I'm going to get into the dough with my hands and begin to mix it. I want this to come together in one solid dough ball. Be sure to get in the corners of your bowl and get any flour that may be there and get it mixed in. Okay, you can see everything's pretty well mixed into a dough ball. Once it's all in one piece like this, I'm just going to knead it a few times by taking the heel of my hand and just pressing it into the center and folding it over. Okay, so you can see I just have a dough ball there. All I need to do is drop this into the middle of the iron skillet, and I want to take a sharp knife, and I'm just going to cut the dough through the center. That will help the steam release. Now I'm going to put this in the oven. That's 35, maybe 40 minutes. And I'll be back with you when it's done to show you how it comes out. All right, we are back, and I have just taken the bread out of the oven, and I hope you can see that it's nice and golden. It's split open. I cut it deeper than I meant to, but that's okay. It'll still be delicious. So now I've got just a pat of butter that I melted in the microwave, and I'm just going to use my pastry brush, and I'm going to give it a very light brush of this melted butter. I don't want to make the top of the bread wet. I just want to make sure that any flour that may be visible has had butter on it so that it looks nice and golden. All right, and that is all there is to it. I will cut a piece. Very hot. I'm just going to try to cut a piece right from the edge. Whew. Let you see the inside. So this bread has no yeast. The only leavening was the soda. So it kind of has the texture of a biscuit. Whew, that's hot. Okay, so the soda bread is out of the oven, and I'll try to get you a shot. The outside is crusty, a little crunchy. The inside is very, very soft and tender, like a biscuit. It has the slightest bit of sweetness from the sugar that we added. It has a little tang from the vinegar or buttermilk. I know some people are intimidated to bake, especially bread. And I have done a whole playlist of bread recipes, and I will link that in the cards up here. A lot of them don't require yeast. I've done everything from no yeast breads to biscuits and cornbread to yeast breads in the bread machine. So I hope that you'll try some. The no yeast breads are especially simple. Biscuits are simple, cornbread's simple. I hope you'll try them and find an alternative to paying $4 or $5 for a loaf of store-bought white bread. If you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see, please leave it in the comments below. And if you've liked this video, I hope you'll hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.